Hello, my name is Vera Kanko, and today I have a presentation to deliver about perspective in psychology. The introduction, what is psychology? Before going deep in the heart of the topic, it is very essential to understand what psychology properly is. Psychology is the scientific study of the human mind and its function, especially those affecting behavior in a given context. Understanding psychology is vital for humanity as it can help unraveling complicated issues that cover all aspects of life. In this presentation, the content is all about a description of two psychological perspectives, evaluation of the key assumption, evaluation of the work of key theories of biological psychology and social psychology, analysis of the similarity and difference between biological psychology and social psychology, and we finish to evaluate the application of two psychological perspective to contemporary issue in psychology. Description of two psychological perspectives. There are many psychological perspectives, but the focus here will be based on biological psychology and social psychology. Biological psychology. The analysis of behavior and mental procedure in biological approach consists to an examination of the impact of genetics, brain construction, the body chemical messengers such as dopamine, serotonin, histamine, but also additional biological consideration. This perspective believes that mental disorder lead to mental psychological disorder as well. The principal fact here is that human behavior is principally attached to a person's genetic trait or characteristic. Social psychology. It is all about human being complying to social standard and what is accepted as exemplar. Social psychology lies to the fact that a person's conduct, line of thinking, and emotion are directly controlled and determined by the presence of individual and public. There is an obligation to be accepted in this life, and this can lead a human being to be influenced by a person's behavior. Mass behavior, social judgment, compliance, aggressiveness are some examples of what social psychology focuses on. Now we talk about evaluation of key assumption of biological psychology and social psychology. We talk now about key assumption of biological psychology. The biological perspective presumes that our mental action, our behavior and thought are decided by nervous system, neurochemical, genetics, hormonal influences, inherited trait. Biological psychology appreciates human behavior through the examination of human biology, hence the name biological psychology. Moreover, the overhang of psychology and biology are described as biopsychology. It's a mixture of biology and psychology, hence biopsychology. The major assumption of biological psychology is that genetics control our behavior. The brain functions are limited and neurochemicals are the bedrock of our behavior. The strength of it is that the use of good and advanced technology can give appropriate fact and evidence. Confirmation of the brain being used during particular activity through research such as fFMRI machine and EEGs examination of sleep and wake pattern are examples. The limitation of it is that the neglect of environmental factors and the ignorance of other factors like behavior. We can say that the biological approach does not consider the sole difference among people, for example, the responsibility to stress. Evaluation of key assumption of social psychology. Social psychology focuses on someone's personality, especially when around other people. The pressure to fit in, to belong, lead to conformity. The main assumptions of social psychology are human behavior, are directly linked to social context and the presence of people around them. A person's behavior and thought are determined by other people and the environment. Obedience, compliance, and conformity are the principal characteristics of social impact. Like other perspective, the social one got its strength and limitation. As strength, we can say that social psychology allow to understand the influence of other people on someone's behavior. Social psychology promote diverse cultural understanding. Social psychology put to light social issues like discrimination, rejection, prejudice. Thank you. The limitation is that the result of laboratory experiment don't correspond to real-world situation. In some experimental case, individuals modify the behavior after receiving education from the experimenter. Sometimes social approach fail to notice individual differences. Now we talk about evaluation of the key theories related to biological psychology. The principal biological psychology theorists are Broca, 1861, and Wernicke, 1874. The main point is that peculiar area of the brain are in control for distinct mental function, behavior, and operation. This theory arose in the 19th century by its pioneer, Carl Wernicke and Paul Broca by names. Basically, the two hemispheres of the brain, left and right, control the opposite part of the body. For example, when I lift my right hand, it's commanded by the left hemisphere of my brain, and when I do the opposite, it is controlled by the right hemisphere of my brain. Moreover, the language center localized to the left hemisphere contain the Broca area and the Wernicke area, both labeled by the scientists who uncovered them. The strength of it is that biological traits are common to all human beings, allowing wider simplification of behavior. Then, the scan of the brain really confirmed the existence of two language centers situated to the left hemisphere. Limitation. Simplification of the theory that is only based on Broca and Wernicke area, then the ignorance of other factors such as environment. Now we talk about evaluation of the key work of theories related to social psychology. The main social psychology theorists are Henry Tegel and John Turner. In 1979, the social identity theory perceives that who you are depends on which group you are associated with. The basic of those groups can be diverse, such as race, religion, for example. All this leads to discrimination, prejudice among different groups. The strength of it is that social psychology focuses on minimal group and the relevance to real-world issues such as sexism and racism. The limitation is that the theory dismisses influences like culture, individualism, and interconnection. Another limitation is that social psychology prioritizes the obvious. Now we talk about the analysis of the similarity and differences between two perspectives of psychology, biological and social one. The similarity between these two perspectives is nature against nurture. Both biological psychology and social psychology accept that the nature has a vital role in sculpting people's behavior. Reductionist contre holism. Both perspectives stand for reductionism. Research method. Both biological psychology and social psychology rely on empirical research and use scientific and statistical ways to provide results. The only difference between the two is determinism and free will. While social psychology stands for soft determinism, as is recognized that people have the capacity to choose and to be answerable for the action, biological psychology is more of hard determinism and doesn't believe in free will. Now we talk about an evaluation. We talk about an evaluation of the application of two perspectives to contemporary issue in psychology. Nowadays, there is too many contemporary issues representing possibility or difficulty situations such as mental health and well-being, diversity and inclusion, population aging, financial stability, social changes, and poverty. The focus here today will be based on how psychological perspective can be relevant to mental health and well-being and workplaces and organizational issues. Mental health and well-being. In the UK, almost a quarter of the population suffer from mental health issue yearly. There is no doubt that peri-mental health and psychology is a normality because psychology mainly focuses on the mind. Psychology study issues such as depression, anxiety, eating disorder, and many more. Psychodynamic perspective and biological perspective are used for mental health issues to tackle it and produce proper results. Psychodynamic perspective provides psychodynamic therapy consisting of patients being encouraged to talk to a professional about issues they face in view to gain relief and find solution. Initiated by Sigmund Freud, findings it has been progressed later on by Anna Freud, Melanie Klein, and Carl Jung. People suffering from problems like depression, anxiety, substance abuse, to see only few, can be treated by psychodynamic therapy in many sessions lasting a year or more. The strength of psychotherapy is that often it's detected deep undercover issue a person is not even aware of. The limitation of psychotherapy is that it's not suitable at all, sometimes for mental health problem. Moreover, it can be expensive in the long run. Biological perspective is the medication treatment. It's like you are sick, you call your GP, your doctor, because you are sick, and they will give you medication about it. It's the same thing. The biological perspective relating to mental health is all about medication treatment involving the understanding of the brain, once again, genetics and biology in general. Some of the medication used to treat mental health conditions are antidepressant, anti-anxiety medication, mood stabilizer, and antipsychotics. The strength of it is medication gives relief to mental condition. Medication gives quick relief and quick result. Medication can be added to other therapy. This is the strength of it. The limitation as well is that the side effect of medication. Some medication make people be dizzy. Some medication make people gain weight. And the other limitation is that some mental health problems are not resolved with medication, but instead with talking therapy. Workplaces, organization, issue, and perspective in psychology. At work, togetherness, such as teamwork, management, employee enthusiasm, career, lifestyle, are organizational and workplace problems that, if not dealt with serious, can lead to underproductivity, discouragement, burnout, and even quarrel between employees. Luckily, some perspectives in psychology approach this issue. Biological psychology and behaviorism are two of them. Biological psychology, through well-being resourcefulness, combat challenges like workload, stress, by using mindfulness and meditation routine. The volume of gray matter in the brain through medication, for example, boosts inner psychological performance. The strength of this perspective regarding workplaces issue is that medication improves mental health and lessen stress, and the limitation is that the participant must be willing to do it, and it is time consuming. They don't have time, the employee, they don't want to do it because they have work to do. Mindfulness is for people, for human, but sometimes the problem involved can be far from human reach. For example, financial hardship like bankruptcy. Sometimes the problem is not human being. Sometimes the problem is not employee in the workplaces. Sometimes it's a financial problem like bankruptcy, as I said. Then in the workplace, for workplace issue, we can use the behaviorism as one solution, as the strengthening of the behaviorism lie on rewarding the person, it is obviously the best perspective to use in workplaces and organizational settings to lift up spirits and motivate employees. As they get reward and recognition for a job well done, they will be motivated to continue on the same line and even do better. This is undisputedly increase not only individual performance, but also the company on the whole. Among the reward, if you can be seated, like everybody knows, Employee of the Month, gift, extra holiday, being mentioned and acknowledged on the company media. The strength of it is that acknowledgement and reward trigger the enthusiasm to do more and even better. If they reward you, you say, it's good, you want to do more next time. Employees feel appreciated by being rewarded. The limitations are that rewards are good initiatives for recognition, but they don't always clarify the cause leading to low performances and discouragement. If rewards are allocated by favoritism, it may create the opposite result, such as competition between the employee. Or why they have got this reward? It's supposed to be me, and we create confusion, problem, jealousy, quarrel. To conclude, we can say that it comes very obvious that the different perspectives in psychology are diverse. As diverse they are vital for the understanding of human baggage, both physically and mentally, but also for the treatment and solution of the issue the humanity face on the daily basis. Knowing and mastering this psychological perspective can be very beneficial and uplifting. I thank you very much to listen to my presentation. My name is Vera Kanko. Thank you.